Hey everyone, it's me, Donna. Okay, in this video, I'm basically wanting to pitch this on-demand perfume to sell to the mass market out there, to companies like Amazon or whoever's out there. And probably it would be a good idea for companies that are already familiar with like the whole on-demand type platform or whatever. And I know there's more companies out there besides Amazon. There's all these new companies popping up, and there's even like t-shirt companies like Teespring, Redbubble, all that. Excuse me. Okay. So basically what this would be about is you create a perfume and you put it out there for anybody to buy that wants it. Okay. There will be the maximum size that you can create will be a 4-ounce bottle. Okay, then it goes all the way down to what I refer to as sample bottles, which would be from like 0.5 ounces down to 0.25 ounces. Those will be considered as samples. Okay, and those will be for sale as well. Okay, all right. In order to keep the market from being overflooded with a bunch of unwanted perfumes and all that, the best way to do it, in my opinion, which don't get me wrong, I know we all feel like when we create things, you want to feel like you've created the best thing ever and that everybody wants to buy it or whatever. But the reality is, not everything we do is sellable, even though we might be proud of it. And I'm proud of what I do, the designs that I make or whatever. But I have to be real with myself that not everything I create is going to be liked by people. Okay. But hopefully some things will be. And that's when you're like, yay, but anyway. All right. But you definitely don't want the perfume market to be overflooded. Not t-shirts, that's one thing. It's a lot easier to deal with t-shirts as far as printing them and all that stuff. So, it's not as bad. But when you're dealing with perfumes, that has to deal with mixing of different chemicals, whatever a person designs and all that, and getting it out there and all that. And to me, it's just a little bit more complicated. And with dealing with perfumes, perfumes are considered a little more prestigious. Even though, nowadays you can go to Walmart or someplace and buy, a bottle of perfume cheaper than you can a t-shirt in a lot of instances. But still, the perfume industry is kind of thought of as a little more prestigious, and you don't want it completely flooded with just everything known to man out there. Okay. All right. So to kind of cut down on that, in my opinion, okay, let's just say that Amazon decides to do it, for instance. Okay. And I hope they do. All right. If you've already got an Amazon account, you can just link this up with your Amazon, like a seller account. Like if you do ebooks, or if you do the merch thing with t-shirts and all that, then you can link this up with all of that. Okay, use the same password, whatever. Okay, all right, or whatever you choose to do about that. But anyway, you can link it up. We'll just say that. All right. What you can start out doing, you can create your brand name that you're going to use for it and all that. You create one perfume. You start out with one. That's it. One perfume. Okay. All right. From 1 ounce up to 4 ounces, the bottles. Okay. If you sell 100 of any mix match of that from the 1 ounce up, whether it's 100 1 ounces or it's 25 1 ounces and 50 of 4 ounces and 25 of the 2 ounces or whatever, however that's done, if it adds up to be 100, then you will be allowed to move up to the next tier and create your next perfume scent. You know what I mean? And do it that way. Okay. As far as what I consider as samples, which would be 0.5 ounces down to 0.25 ounces, little bottles, little samples. If you sell 1,000 of those, and let's say you don't sell, anything of the other, then still, as long as you sell 1,000 of those, then you can move up to the next level. So that, that's how that will work, okay? And I just think that would make it fair. Just like with Amazon, if you sell, so many t-shirts, they start you out with, you can have, a certain amount of t-shirts, okay? If you sell a certain amount of t-shirts, then you move up to the next tier. So that's kind of how this will work. But it will do it one perfume at a time, okay? So, and you can only make one account. You can't make different duplicate accounts or whatever. One account, okay? And like I said, that's how it will go. All right. You can change the name of the perfume or the company that the perfume will go under if you want to. If you move up, let's say like if you start out like me, if I were to do this, and I would like to, I'm going to go with the name of Cartier, like I said, and I've already talked about that in another video on back sometime. And that's the name that I'm going with. That's the name that I put on the t-shirts that I've created on Teespring about these ideas, my perfume ideas or whatever. Okay, so that's what I'm going with, okay, as far as the company for that, okay. But then I might, like when, let's say you make one or two of that, but yet you want to switch up gears. Maybe you want to go with a different radical type of scent or whatever, but you don't want to go under the same company. You can do that. You can change it to, Billy Bob or whatever it is you want to call it. You can do that for your next perfume, but it's still all under your account and all under the, the rules or whatever that's set for that one account. So you can't create another account to do that. It all has to go under that one account, okay? So, let me just make that clear. Alright. So, Amazon or some of these other companies out there, if you're listening, please, please do this. I think it'd just be really cool. And it would give people, different choices as far as perfumes. Okay? Because let me just say this. A lot of your perfumes that you buy in the stores, when you first buy them, man, they smell so good. You spray them on, you're like, yeah, but they don't last very long. Okay, this leads me to believe that they're just using the 10 to 90% ratio because, those scents nowadays, even though they smell real good, like that you get at Walmart or wherever at first, but then they disappear so quickly. And so I just got that feeling that in reality, they're only using 10% as far as the actual scent, and maybe even less than that. Who really knows? Kind of like that Eau de Toilette type stuff. That toilet spray that's like what 10% to 90% or whatever. That type of thing. I think they're actually doing that with all perfumes, or cheap perfumes, what we would call cheap perfumes, even though they smell delicious. But it's referred to as cheap perfumes. And they're saving like the 20 to 30% ratios for the upper brands, okay? So, to me, a really good middle ground for this would be the 20% to 80% ratio. And that's how I think this should be ran. That way, the customer is getting what they pay for. They're getting a good scent and hopefully at a reasonable price, which I will talk about the base price that that whoever does this, whether it be Amazon or whoever, can set it like a base price, and it will show what your profit would be if they set it at that price, and you can go higher if you want or lower if you want. Based upon that, so once What am I trying to say? Once, you know, you do that, you set that up, hopefully, you know, things will be reasonable and people, you know, but if you really think you got something special out there and you think it's worth more money, then hey, go for it, you know, and if it sells, it sells, okay? All right. So basically, the way this will be set up, it will be dealing with like milliliters instead of droplets, you know, like the average person would do. When you're first trying out perfumes or whatever at home, you will go by the drops or whatever, okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, pretend like an ounce is 30 milliliters. And I know in one of my previous videos I was calling it millimeters. It's not millimeters, it's milliliters. Oh my God. I hate it when I do stuff like that. And I kept repeating it. That's what was so bad. But anyway, but it's milliliters, okay? All right. So even though, let's say like if you end up with like 2 ounces or whatever, it's, was it 59 point something milliliter, but we'll just round up. The company can just round up to 60 if it's the 2 ounce or whatever, okay? So that's how it will be done. So you will do your measurements for the perfume or the scents with the millimeters, okay? Because like I said, the maximum bottle size will be 4 ounces, and then it will go all the way down to the sample sizes, which will be the 0.5 and the 0.25 ounces, okay? So in order to do this, you know, instead of having to go drop by drop, blah, 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 just, you know, it's just going to go with milliliters, okay? So we'll say that 20% of a 4 ounce bottle of perfume, 20% of that, which would be your actual scents themselves, would be 24 milliliters, okay? So, and all right, the maximum scents that you can use in any of your scents or any of your perfumes would be 10. Okay, so I mean there's got to be a maximum on it. I mean, you know, because otherwise people would go hog wild crazy with scents. Okay, so that will be your maximum. Okay, so what you'll do is you will figure out how many milliliters of each scent, or 0.5 milliliters, or 0.25 milliliters, or even 0.75 milliliters. If that's how you want to do it, it will let you have that option, okay? So you will be able, out of those 10 scents, if you want to use all 10, you can do that, and then you can go down and you say, okay, I want half of a milliliter of this kind, and I only want a quarter milliliter of this kind, or whatever, until you get your scent perfected. And you can, you know, it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and buy the oils and test, you know, create your scent at home already, to where you already kind of know. And then that way it would be so much easier on you when you do this online to get your scent, okay? All right. Okay, let me try to not lose thought here. Okay, so once you do that, then, you know, you, and like I said, you can use less. If you just want 1 or 2 scents, fine. You can fill up the whole 24 milliliters for the 4 ounce, and that's how it will be set up initially. Even if later on you decide you don't want to have the 4 ounce bottle for sale in that particular scent line, you can uncheck it later on. But initially, when you do your formula, it will be for a 4 ounce bottle of perfume. And then what the company will do is it will automatically take your formula and break it down to like the 2 ounce, the 1 ounce, the 0.5 ounce, and the 0.25 ounce. It will already calculate all that based upon what you do and break it down to those, okay? So you will have to set your formula up. That will be the default formulation setup for this, okay? All right. Once you do that, okay, then also, you know, you can pick the color, the color of your the the color that you want your perfume to be. And there will be like different, different kinds of colors, okay? And, once you do that and get everything set up for that, you will have the option of whether or not you want to use the 4-ounce bottle, or you just want to sell 2-ounce bottles, or, or you can offer all of them, all the way down to the samples. It will be completely your choice because, the formula's been made, so, it's easy breezy from there as far as the formulation goes, okay? All right, then you do your packaging, or shall I say your design. Because in the beginning, when I didn't mention this, but when you pick out your bottle, you can pick out a design. There'd be like different shaped bottles of the 4-ounce, and that will include the 4-ounce and the 2-ounce. But from 1 ounce on down, there will just be the elongated bottles, and all the bottles will be plastic, like no glass. To me, it would just be best if the company, of course, the company can do what they want, but my suggestion would be to use the plastic bottles because it's just safer. It's just the best way to go with this, in my opinion. Okay. So from there, you can, you pick out your design, all that stuff. You can design your bottles, and then you can design your packaging and whatever. And then what you can do is there will be that little page after that once you do all that. And, of course, you set your pricing. You can go ahead and set your pricing for your bottles. Okay. Then what you can do is you can save it as a draft and go ahead and order yourself, which you'll have to pay for it, order samples of your product. That's why I would recommend, regardless of what you're doing, allow there to be samples to be sold of your perfume so that people can kind of see how it's going to smell. But anyway, in the draft stage, if you don't want to just go all out and just go ahead and put it out there, you want to actually sample it yourself and make sure that it's what you want, you can order samples of your own perfume yourself. And then if you like it, then you go ahead and go on to the next stage. If you don't like it, then you can start all up, go back and reformulate how you want the perfume to be. Okay, so that's, in a nutshell, that's how I envision it doing. And in order for it to be fair, because like I said, you don't want the market to be flooded, and that way if it sells, if it's out there and people are buying it, it's good. And it and it's kind of like a reward as you go up each tier. Then okay, yeah, I've sold so many of this and blah blah blah, and you can kind of feel good about, okay, I'm moving up to the next tier and whatever. And then, like I said, it can go into bath bombs, lotions. It can be offered in lotions and oils and in hair products, of course, like shampoos, pomades, all that type of thing. You can add your scent to this stuff. How cool would that be? And then, okay, let's just say, like, if it is Amazon or some big company that actually has a store, like a physical store, okay, where people can go in and shop. If you sell so many, like, say, like 10,000 online bottles of your perfume or whatever, then or a shampoo or whatever it is, any combination of that, if you sell like 10,000, wouldn't it be cool if they would then offer your stuff in their store, like their physical store? Because then you would know, okay, yeah, I've made it, I'm on the shelves. I mean, wow. I mean, wouldn't that be so cool if if that could be done? I mean, wow, so. But anyway, that's the best way that, I can think of to do it.